Hey guys,
Hello.
Mark,
good morning or afternoon out east, right?
Yeah.
Only 10:30 here.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. Looks like Eric got a haircut.
Well,
Nice, looking sharp.
yeah, if they cut it short enough, makeup head looks perfect.
Ha, it is. I like the contour.
Yeah,
They did a good job.
hard to find
Randy
somebody that really
Johnson.
good flat top nowadays.
Yeah, it has that flat top too. It's a little squared over here. I like it.
Yeah, well, you're starting to look like Max Headroom.
Ha,
Mark hair is the best. I like
I
your
do what
hair,
I
Mark.
can. Thank you,
Starting to
Mormon.
sound like a hairy conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Carefully. I
I
need
don't,
a
I
shirt
don't
that
have to
says
worry.
I
I
woke
don't
up
have no
like.
hair, so
Well, I'm losing mine. That's why it's carefully constructed to just cover up the middle.
oh, looks good, buddy.
Excellent,
Yeah,
Steven.
well,
Steven, I'll give you some tutorials. I just grow it out and fold it in.
Looks
All right.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I got a question, for Betsy. I think yesterday I saw you put on your, I think on your website, some company that we can actually contact for leads. Is that you or?
Me?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
sure.
yeah. It's
Um,
good. Eh?
Are you
I
talking
think it
about
was
online?
for lead. I think it was for
Level
lead. It
up.
was
He's referring to level up, I believe, Betsy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I have a marketing company,
Okay.
but we're about to share some stuff that y'all can get in on that and so.
Okay. I got you.
She's being purposely cryptic, Mormon. But we are going to
Yes.
talk about that today.
We're
And
gonna
by
talk
all
about
means, I think.
But yes, I do have a marketing company. Mhm.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah, Betsy's being modest right now. She has a marketing company designed for the insurance industry as a whole, and includes lead generation, recruiting, and all kinds of stuff. So,
Good.
by all means, I don't want to steal Betsy's thunder either. We can get to that a bit later in the call, but definitely we're all here to help each other, Mormon, and I'm sure Betsy be happy to go over what level up can do
Yeah.
in addition to what we have available in the system.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, you don't want to go back and recreate the wheel. I mean, if it's there and it's rolling, I mean, we might as well use it.
True story.
As I tell my team, I'm here to be used. So
Oh, all right.
Excuse me.
I'm here
So
to be
guys,
used. Please don't abuse me, but I'm here.
exactly. Use me, don't abuse me. I love it. So great turnout today, by the way, so far. I love it. Guys, look at this. I mean, this is a teachable moment, if you will, right? So it really demonstrates how important consistency is in every aspect of our business. And I keep touching my AirPods because I don't know the difference between noise canceling and not, I guess. But we debated over having weekly meetings or not having weekly meetings for a while. Then it became bi-weekly, monthly. The point is we just weren't very consistent with it, right? Some people wanted them, some people didn't. Some people said they wanted them and didn't show up, blah, blah, blah. But then we made the executive decision to just do them, right? Whether 2 people found them of value or 200, really doesn't matter as long as we impact at least one person a week in a significant way. And those of you that have been with us since we started doing it faithfully, which hasn't been very long, right? Maybe 3 or 4 months here. We maybe only had 2 or 3 people popping up, and we get increased attendance from the team as we go on because we've committed to being on here every single week. And you apply that to the business that we have at Symmetry. There's Shelly out prospecting. I love it.
I could write it, promise.
And it relates directly, right? Until you decide to be consistent. And I'm going to mute you, Shelly. I love you to death, but I think I'm.
Your voice is a little bit distorted, Mark.
Is that better?
Yes.
Excellent. Had something to do with my Bluetooth. There's a weird stuff going on in the building today.
Okay.
The point is, guys, consistency is key, and because we all operate, traditionally on a calendar that goes day to day, week to week, it's all about, as it says in the Summit program, following that Ivy Lee method to make sure that you're getting those 6 most important things done a day, but on a weekly basis, make sure that everything that you've got to do is calendared, right? I admit I just got into calendaring maybe 3 months ago. It has significantly impacted all of my businesses. I'm getting so much more done. I'm so much less stressed. And I've also, I always feel like I'm in control of my day, right? As opposed to being harried, because if you're not calendared and you're ambitious as I am, you tend to never stop and you're jumping all over the place. What can I do next? And oh yeah, there's that thing, right? And next thing you know, it could be 8 o'clock at night and you're still not done with everything, right? But when you calendar things and you're consistent with it, you start to become organized and you realize you can get everything done in a reasonable amount of time. And you're no longer, for those of you that don't calendar, I guarantee you share this feeling, because I fall off the wagon once in a while with my calendar. And on those days that I do, when a half hour, an hour comes up when I've got nothing on there, I'm thinking about, what do I need to do? What did I have to do? Oh yeah, that. Oh, and this, right? And now I've got 4 or 5 internet browsers open, hoping to achieve as much as I can. So if you guys haven't started yet, I know I've gotten a couple thank yous over the last couple weeks. Some of you have really started to embrace the calendar as well, and it's changed your business, and I'm proud of you. And for those that haven't, this isn't just lip service. It's a really important component to being consistent and being effective and impactful in your business, right? So,
It's just not on his resume.
Laura says I'm garbled. Am I not garbled anymore? I hope.
Yeah, you're fine now.
Okay, good. And if you didn't hear the first part, then none of this means anything, right? But we recorded it. Hopefully the recording is better.
So what I want to do is
So guys, without further ado, we've got a couple things to cover, and
change it.
and I have just such a big grateful heart for Betsy and everything that she is doing with automated processes and things like that. I've got let me see, I might. Yeah, so 3 things I want to cover today, and then of course we'll open it up to Q&A. First of all, I do want to welcome, I know we welcomed him before, but just a few shout outs. Randy Johnson, newly licensed agent. He got his license. Randy, I think you've got your license, right? Or are we still waiting on the number?
No, I got it.
Nice. All right, congratulations. So Randy just got his license. He's licensed, ready to roll. And he's registered for conference, right? He jumped right in, got his license, got registered, and now we're gonna get him his login credentials. And
Is that a Randy Johnson from Michigan?
no, Randy, you're in Iowa, right?
Yeah, Iowa.
Okay,
Yep, that's the best.
good enough. I know Randy Johnson lives 20 miles away from me. I've been calling for a long time. So, all right.
I like it.
Yeah, that's right. So,
This guy.
congratulations, Randy. And again, Randy's setting an example as, one of the first things you should do, especially right now, right? It's not always right around the corner, but it is now. So leaders, as part of your recruiting and onboarding procedure, let's, oh yeah, Julian, Mark Roberts noted it too. We got a little background noise. Dan and I are sharing the office today, so just bear with me on that. Let me see if these noise canceling work.
Mark, I'll take a break.
For real?
Yeah, it's fine.
We offered to take a quick break here, so thank you, Dan.
No worries.
Dan Kiterlin, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Kiterlin. So great. you're doing a disservice to your new agents leaders if you're not making conference just a necessary step of onboarding, right? Because this is where the training happens. This is where association with the top leaders across the country happens. And this is where we've got our breakout sessions in which you can expand your horizons and really understand what's possible here. Because it's nearly impossible for us to express that, you know, on Zoom and in meetings and everything else without becoming overwhelmed. Conference, it's all packed in. I mean, it is just a value-packed couple of days of intensive training, boot camps, exercises, keynote speakers, and important rollouts. And I know Symmetry is up to some really big stuff that's going to get announced and rolled out. So everybody on this call, if you are not, get registered for conference. I don't know if you saw the announcement, but beginning May 15th, it's all overflow seating from there, right? So if you don't get in there before May 15th, you will definitely be in overflow seating. Now, is that a bad thing? No, it's not. Symmetry promised that it's going to be tip-top quality no matter which building you're in, and you're going to be able to enjoy the full experience. But early bird gets the worm, as they say, and I don't want to take my chances on overflow seating if I don't have to. Neither should you, right? They will finance out tickets. You don't pay for your hotel until you check in. And I recommend booking your flight immediately because flights to Denver are pretty cheap right now throughout the country. So you're going to have to get the plane ticket, right? Don't put that off. And everything else is easy peasy right there on the website. So guys, again, I'm not going to point anybody out. I'm not here to shame anybody. But I will say, if you're not registered for conference and you're on this call and you intend to build a business, you're missing a very important ingredient, and you must get on the site and register. I do have, I think Betsy just took 2 more. So I have 2 more discount tickets available on my owner's pack. If you reach out to me after this, we do have 2 more. And you can also just register directly on the site, right? And make sure you get your hotel reserved as well. So number one thing I wanted to cover is conference, because if you're not registered for conference, if you're debating on conference, if you think, well, I'm not sure yet, get sure either way. As Val Zarn always likes to say, he doesn't care which side of the fence you're on, but you got to get on the side, right? So don't sit on the fence, make a decision. And if the decision is for conference, congratulations. I can guarantee you're going to have a new perspective, a new paradigm that I can't possibly explain or edify properly until you've gone. We're going to have a great time together, right? I mean, most of our team is already registered, and I can't tell you this, the social interaction outside of all the training and everything else is top notch. And you are those people that you associate with the most, right? And in this business, there's, it's very easy to become what we call at conference, a hallway prophet, right? The people that stand outside and, they came all the way there and they just decide to be on their phones or have meetings, right? There's always 2 or 3 of those. And there's always people with really good intentions that feel they have a good reason for missing conference. 9 times out of 10, that's a financial reason. If that's the reason, then you got to go to conference. Conference will solve that for you if you apply what you've learned. So guys, get out there, get out of your comfort zone. If this is out of your comfort zone, and get registered today, please, please, please. Second thing I want to go over, all of you, James, I don't know, I'm going to add you right now. You can either type it in or say it. What is your email address? Because I don't believe I have you on my, yes, I do. You're on my email chain, right, James? You're not. Okay, let me get you on there.
Did you get it? I put it in the chat.
Thank you. I'm going to do it right now. Guys, bear with me. Oh, great. There's Charlene Pham. Gene Braun's top agent, right? All right, let me see here. And James, the reason this is important is I'm going to send you after this what I'm about to talk about. which I think we mentioned yesterday, but. So as many of you know, I have taken the time to put together a presentation for, and it's just Mick Olive, right? There's not two C's there.
Right.
I never knew that. I always assumed there was two there. Perfect. All right, I've got you in the SFG Newbauer team email thread. The only reason I don't have you in there is our, as you know, James, Joe, and Jeff, I mean, their agencies even separately have become so big outside of ours that we do have a couple different meetings, guys, just so you know. But I've got you on our list, James, and I'm proud to announce, guys, I have put together a comprehensive presentation for Indexed Universal Life. This is tax-free growth, tax-free access, no market risk. I can't attach flyers here, but I will. I know most of you have seen this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you really quickly what I've got. So you guys can see that, right? Turn your savings into a tax-free treasure chest with no market risk and guaranteed returns. We are going to be doing again, I think I said it in another meeting, but this has nothing to do with ego. I'm going to run the first presentation simply because we've never done this. It took a while to put together the invite site and all else, and I didn't want to put anybody on the spot. So I'm going to do this first presentation for us on May 12th. But the idea is for anyone that wants to participate, much as we've done with recruiting in the Cook group, we're going to take turns presenting this. It might be one agent, it might be two, but this is a great way to be baptized by fire and really get to, get down to the down and dirty when it comes to Index Universal Life and presenting it. And the good news is it's going to be to everybody's benefit, guys. So I've created this event so that we can really, really leverage our time and resources together to benefit the collective. And I'm scheduling these just bi-weekly so it doesn't interfere with your mortgage protection or final expense business, right? You can still get your dials in, you can still get your appointments in. And in fact, you can leverage your appointments into, hey, by the way, I noticed you had, 50,000 in savings or 125,000 in that 401k. I really think you could benefit from seeing what a lot of people are doing now. A lot of people in your situation for tax-free growth with no market risk. Thursday, May 12th, right? You guys can start doing that today with your appointments. So take that to heart and apply as you will. James, I'll send you a copy of this after if you don't have it, since you weren't on the list. And I'm going to also, guys, real quick, I'm going to send the link. I'm going to put the link. You guys probably have received this 1,000 times, right? I'm kind of too excited about it. Where's the Zoom window? I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. That's the invite link, guys. If you click on it, you'll see just how easy it is. It's what my recommendation is. Three ways to prospect for this event. So if you go to this, you're going to see it just has a little picture of the flyer, like a thumbnail, so they know that they went to the right place. And then you just put in your name and who invited you, and you're done, right? So it's an easy peasy system. This way, if James McAuliffe, has 2 clients coming to the meeting, he sends them this link. They're going to type in James McAuliffe invited me to this, and we'll be able to track that so that, God willing, when these become really popular and we've got a big attendance, we know who belongs to who. Because the idea is Steve Devine presents next week, and Randy Johnson, has a cousin on there that attended and liked it. All Randy's got to do, he doesn't even have to be on the presentation, truly. I do recommend if you've got a guest to be on it. But the good news is we get to leverage each other, because even though Steve's presenting, Randy can call his cousin after and say, hey, how did you like the presentation? And I'd like to work up an illustration for you so you can see what this looks like how it looks. Just tell me, give me a ballpark. You know, we can always play with numbers, but give me a ballpark of what you'd be willing to save every month, you know? And I'll put together an illustration to show you what it looks like. Now, something's better than nothing, but on average, guys, they recommend about $100 a month per decade of age to really make these sing, right? So there's your, you know, elevator, not a pitch anymore, is it? It's not an elevator or anything. There's your high level follow-up, thank you, to a presentation. And they'll say, well, $200 a month. Okay, great. Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at noon, right? And I'll go over this illustration, show you what it can do. Boom. I'm hoping you guys can get 2 or 3 IULs a week out of this in addition to your mortgage protection final expense business. And as we prove these out, and I know we will, and it's up to us, each and every one of you and me, to fill these events, because if we can prove these out, I'll open it up to the Cook hierarchy, and the more the merrier, and you know, where focus goes, energy grows. So why not, right? Happy to share this stuff. Worked really hard on it, and I hope it will serve you guys in expanding your capabilities with your client base without too much extra work on your part. So that is the invite. I just gave you a quick follow-up. We'll be going over this again Thursday morning before. But guys, as the year has flown by, this week is gonna will be next Thursday, right? So get to inviting people today. Okay, Shelly, I'm gonna call on you, but in a sec, I gotta edify Shelly. So she texted me today. She had 5 solar guys in her house today. And she talked about the presentation in IULs, and they're all excited to come. They didn't know anything about this before, right? But the minute you mention tax-free wealth, tax-free access, especially with the enthusiasm and genuine heart that Shelly has, they're going to be there, right? So this is something that you're sharing with people, right? You're not trying to get people to go here. That's kind of ridiculous. This is an hour that could change their entire financial future, right? So get excited about that and call. Warm touches are the best, right? Or if you're in front of somebody, but those people that you care about most, anybody with children, grandchildren, a 401k, a 403b, a Roth IRA, no savings, right? It kind of doesn't matter. This is good for everybody that views it. And the only barrier to entry is they do have to qualify health-wise. But the good news is they don't even have to qualify health-wise. Simply somebody with an insurable interest in their family would have to qualify. So if you've got somebody that's just got a laundry list of prescriptions and meds and, I can't get covered. Okay, but I see you've got a 10-year-old here who's perfectly healthy. We can put the insurance on them and you max fund this thing. You're the owner. Therefore, you've got the access to the tax-free growth. And if you want to pass that on to Johnny when he grows up, that's cool too. So I hope you guys understand just how powerful this can be. And if so, let's get to inviting. Lots of calls to actions here, right? Register for conference, make a note of the presentation next week and begin inviting, because time's of the essence. And I guarantee if you attend this thing with 2 or 3 people, you're going to wish you invited 20 or 30. I mean, that's just the way it always is with things like this. So go all out. They'll only get better as we go, but that's no reason to wait. And I do welcome critiques and such after, so that we can really smooth this out and streamline it. And on that note, I will also, James McCullough, I think you're the only one that doesn't have it. I will also get you a copy of the PDF that we'll be presenting so that you can study it and even use it on your own. Guys, this is for our team. You guys want to use this in your own appointments? Go for it. Shelly.
So I just wanted to say that when I spoke to those guys, they were between the ages of 20 and there was one guy that was 40. So I told them about Debt-Free Life as well, Betsy. So they got a link. They got 2 links. They got one for the event May 12th, and then they got one for the Debt-Free Life as well. So what I was going to tell everybody is if you, like, they're in the solar business, so they work till sometimes 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. So I told them, I says, if you have somebody else that can get on, and a wife, girlfriend, whatever, they can do that as well, or we can do a one-on-one. I just want to make sure that people can see it and hear about it. So I told them if they would rather have a one-on-one, we could also do that as well. And they were hip to that as well. So if they can't make it, but we went out for lunch today, and I'm not trying to brag, okay, so don't take it like that, but there was a construction crew sitting there, and there was like 8 guys. And I walked over and I handed them my cards, and I handed them the RX cards. And I said, hey, do you guys have 401k or any kind of retirement fund? And they were like, no. And I go, well, what are you going to do for retirement? And the one guy said, well, I get into real estate, and that's how I get my money. And I said, well, let me tell you about something. And so I started telling him about the IUL, and all of them were like, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, my number and my name is right here. I said, you can email me, you can call me, either way. We can set up an appointment for you to hear about it. And I left him my card, and I told him just, to give me a call. And so just by going out to lunch like that, I don't care who I talk to, I just talk to people. It don't matter. So, but that's just me.
Well, that paid off.
But they were all, like, yeah, I need a retirement. And then I had one of the older guys in the group. I don't know how old he was. I'm going to say he was in his late 50s, early 60s. And he's like, I says, no offense to you, sweetheart. I said, it is normally for the younger person so they can build up to their retirement. I said, but it will work for you, just depending on how much you want to invest in that. So he's like, well, why are you looking at me? He goes, why aren't you looking at that old guy down there? But the point being is that, it doesn't matter who you speak to, they're gonna, once they do it, they're gonna share that, and they're gonna go on. So, and they're gonna share it with and the guy that I told about from the solar system, he has a son that's 2 years old. I said, right now is the time for you to do an IUL on your son. So when it comes time for 12 or 13 and they need braces, you got that money. You don't have to pull it out of your income. And he goes, that's a great idea. We're going to be doing that. I said, all right. So that's just my story for today. So I'm pumped up, and I'm just so excited. I can't even contain it.
I'm so excited for you, Shelley. And that, like I always say, guys, it's a numbers game until it's not. Treat it as a numbers game initially, because you just don't know, who and how and when, right? But the minute that you resonate with someone, and you will if you play the numbers game, that's when the true service comes in, right? That's when you get to work from the heart, and that's when you get to really work with intentionality and change somebody's life because they've invited you to do so, right? Laura, I know your hand's up. Your virtual hand's going to get tired soon, but Eric texted first, so I'm going to let Eric chime in.
Couple things. Are we going to be recording this for that somebody who is new or is shy can simply just connect the dots and utilize the recording?
Yeah, I'll record the presentation. That's a great idea.
Okay.
I'll record that so that we can have it. And quite frankly, I don't think it will be as impactful, but you could even use that recorded presentation for someone that maybe you've spoken to that can't make it Thursday, right?
Well, yeah, but the other thing that's super cool about a recording is you can actually stop it at particular points and answer questions as you're going through it. If it's just a one-on-one, you're not stopping the whole party kind of thing. So, but I agree. The registration, will there be a spot where somebody can either look up if they've got people registered, or I'm just concerned. I'm doing a lot of social media stuff and asking a ginormous number of people. We all know how people don't like to show up. So I was actually going to create an email string on my calendar, put all their emails on the calendar for the event, and send them a happy little, by the way, on the 12th, you're gonna learn about this and send them a little reminder email every single day so that the day and time gets burned into their brain.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So I used a new service. It's so crazy. A lot of these event services are okay, but they were all missing something. And this one that I found, this RSVPify, I did have to pay a premium, but it did everything I wanted it to do. So I've got some kind of membership there. I'm not sure how many users it will let me have on there, but what I can do, and guys, again, be proactive. At your request, I can always send you a snapshot of who has RSVP. And first things first, guys, if you plan on benefiting from this, if you plan on rather taking advantage of this and being proactive, get registered yourself, right? Holly Austin, congratulations. I don't think Holly's on right now, but Holly got registered last night, and she intends on bringing a couple of guests. But again, time is going to pass very quickly. So if you're bringing guests, you yourself should register ASAP, and then make sure that you walk through your prospects as well. And just know, like Shelly did, guys, I can't even express how proud we are of you, Shelly, and for the proactiveness that you employ each and every day. But it's like I always say, guys, barbers, massage therapists, mechanics, construction workers, entrepreneurs of all kind, they kill to have a savings program, right? Outside of the bank account, which actually loses money due to inflation and cost of living year after year. So help these people, right? Be proactive, walk them through to registration. And yes, Eric, worst case, if you even just request, guys, send me a text, say, hey, can I get a list of the confirmations? I'll screenshot it. But if I can make you an admin, I will.
Well, maybe we can make this easy for you. If you can actually put a button on there where when an agent registers to be there, they can actually click, I am an agent, then maybe what that would do for you is make it so you can plug the agents into an email, and you can just email that out once a day so that it's not something that you have to do for each individual. It's just something that just happens.
Possibly. Let me see what I can add there to that effect. I mean, I know the agents pretty much. So as long as I see an agent there, what it does have is who invited you. So for everybody that registers, I'm going to see that they wrote that Eric Rush invited them, right?
I just don't want it to turn into another complex task that you have to do, and I'm just trying to figure out how to make it simple for you. So that once it's set up, it just runs.
I appreciate that.
Cool.
Let me see if I can make all the leaders admins. If I can do that, that's going to be the easiest. You can log in and check it to your heart's content. And if not, as I see the invites come in, I'll send them out, because it will say who invited them, and then I'll know. But I think it has the capabilities for me to allow some admins. I just don't know if there's limits to how many. I'll check that out.
Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, the best anybody can do at this moment is get to inviting, right? I'm really anticipating this to be a pretty big success, but that anticipation is correlative to my hope that people will take this opportunity seriously, and particularly, those that are working mortgage protection. Every single appointment you could leverage into attendance here, right? Just as if you ask the right questions using the financial information form in every home, out of 10 homes, guys, do you realize you will get an average of 1 to 2 annuities a week if you ask the questions? Do you know that Joe Martinez had a client who recently asked him, hey, I've got a little over $1 million. Do you guys do annuities? I sure do. So we're getting him set up over at F&G to make sure he can process that. Now, and I know that Joe normally asks the questions in the home, but that was a house that happened to come to him. And that's good. When you got a full book, that'll happen. But if you ask the questions, if you're proactive, again, it's a numbers game until it's not. But you got to play the numbers to get to that next step. Okay? So ask these good questions. And in your appointments, make sure they know about this tax-free wealth presentation that your team is putting on next Thursday. why not, right? Worst they can do is not show. Okay, so before Betsy and I talk to you about a couple really big things, especially leaders that are recruiting. Number one, whoever's not, get registered for conference, right? That's a non-negotiable if you're serious about building a business here. Number two, we've got the presentation next Thursday. Time is of the essence. People have things come up. I have set, just so you guys know, don't rely on this, do it yourself too, but I have set up a 24-hour reminder. So a day before, Wednesday at 6 p.m., your invitees that have registered will get a reminder. And I set a 1-hour reminder. So at 5 o'clock Eastern, Thursday, they're going to get a reminder that the event starts at 6, right? So you can confidently invite today and know they're going to get those auto reminders, because just like mortgage protection and everything else, if you invite them today and then don't touch them until Thursday, they're probably not going to be there, right? So you be proactive too and say, hey, I know my team probably sent out a reminder, but I just wanted to give you a friendly reminder that tomorrow night at 6 o'clock is that event you RSVP'd for. Excited for you to see that, right? And that's that. So without further ado, oh no, Laura, I'm so sorry, Laura, put that hand down.
Hey, Mark. So I had a couple of questions here. Now, are we doing a child webinar this evening for IUL?
Not that I'm aware of. There might be, I know some people have really taken this by storm, so somebody might be, but it's not an official organizational thing. So I don't know about that. I love your story. I love your whole thing there.
Oh, thanks. So my second question was dealing with this link that you sent. That is not for this evening's either, because there's a series of events, it looks like here. But the one that is attached to that link, I just registered, by the way, is for 6 p.m. on May 12th Eastern time.
That is correct.
That's the only one that link is good for right now. Okay, good. Gotcha.
And we will be covering, as it says on the flyer, we will be covering children, retirees, retirement savings, and business owners. So admittedly, it might be a little lengthy. I just want to do a run through to see how long it goes. So that said, once, I get my head above water and we start to, we're doing these, the next one, for instance, in a couple weeks, maybe we're just going to focus on children. I'll design a new flyer that just has to do with children and grandchildren and college savings. And we'll stop the slideshow after the children's portion. Okay. And in another couple weeks, we'll do one that's just about 401k alternative and stop losing money in the markets. Right. I think if we themify these, they're going to be even more successful. But this first one's going to be just kind of an all-in-one. And it's up to you guys to target your invites accordingly. If you're talking to a grandmother, don't talk to her about the power of a buy-sell agreement, right? Talk to her about her grandchild and their future. So that's all I've got for now. So Betsy, I'm going to turn it over to you since this was your idea and I'm ever grateful for it. But let's talk to leaders about our new onboarding process and we'll take it from there.
Let me unmute. Okay. Hey, everybody. So we've got some exciting things coming on for recruiting. I was at a recruiting conference speaking about building a niche team, and I got to hear some really great recruiters in Symmetry. And one of them, Sarah Reineke, was talking about what they do with their team is every week they do an onboarding for their new agents, and they just kind of help let them know, okay, this is what your expectations are in our agency. You're going to finish your exam within 10 days. You're going to write six applications because we become SNAs in this agency. And so it's like, that is just what they do. And I was like, that is brilliant. So simple, but just so clear. So anyways, I do, like we were saying earlier, I do have a marketing company. And so Mark and I are going to start working together for recruiting. And so what we're going to do is it's not just for Mark and I. We want it to be recruiting for our entire agency, for Mark's base, for my base. Like, let's just let's just grow. All right. So what we're going to do here is every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do an onboarding call for new agents. So like this week, I hired 2 people, and it was so amazing because, you know, usually when you hire people, if you've done any interviews, they're like, okay, well, what's next? And then you're like, okay, well, there's this, then there's this, then there's that, and there's that, and it's overwhelming, right? And so all I did on these interviews is I said, okay, I'm going to send you the application, and then I will see you on Friday at the onboarding call. And that's all we did. Like those were 2 next steps that person had to do. Fill out the application and come to Friday's onboarding call. Boom. So simple, so easy. Oh my word, it was wonderful. So anyways, just want to kind of let everybody know that's what we're going to do. And then in those onboarding calls, the leaders here, we're going to work together on those onboarding calls. So when it's a brand new agent, we're going to, you know, talk to them, make sure they've got their, you know, their thing, you know, what is it? Their exam scheduled. If they haven't scheduled it, we're going to get on and schedule it. Like this is going to be the time where we walk people through doing what they need to do. Then like the next week, if they then say, okay, now be thinking of the 6 people that you're going to write an application on so that you can become an SNA. And then we'll hop on the next week and help them put that into opt. So like just really walking them through that process of coming into Symmetry and finding that success. The other thing we're doing with that, oh, Mark, can I share screen real quick?
No.
This page is not 100% finished. So give me a little grace on it, please. But Jessica and I are working to finish it this evening. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is an unbranded page. It's not the Newbauer, it's not Bar, it's not Rush, it's for our team. So it's SFG Agent Success, okay? So we're still kind of working out a few of the kinks here, but this is the first page, all right? Hey, we're, you know, welcome to the team. Here's the book of the month, all right? And then all of these links are gonna be like, exactly what do they need to do? So getting licensed, if they need to get licensed, here's all the steps. You know, so instead of having to send out a ton of information by email, which we all know they're not probably reading anyways, then we just say, hey, here's the website, go to this link, and here's all the information. So it's just, the idea is to really streamline everything. Then we've got a starting with Symmetry page. And so this is basically what we're going to go through when we meet with the agent. So we're going to have the onboarding call. And okay, what do they need to do? Soon after they get licensed, they need to complete Fast Track. They need to complete Summit. They need to get access to Virtual Mentor. All right, here's links. So like I said, we're going to clean this up and make it a little more streamlined. But here we're just going to have access, you know, here's all the conference calls that they need to get onto. So just helping them find success, having one place with all the information. And so that when we're on these, you know, calls with agents and you're trying to help onboard a ton of people, like there's one place that you can send them to. And this is going to link to HQ, and it's going to, you know, go all these places that Symmetry has all of this amazing information. But instead of just saying, well, it's somewhere in there, like it just kind of helps really streamline everything. So anyways, so this is what we're doing. So
I can't even contain myself. This is so exciting. And I cannot even thank you enough for everything. Guys, do you realize, I mean, Betsy has her own agency. She doesn't have to be doing this. She doesn't have to be sharing this with everybody. And I just have to step in real quick and say, thank you. And let's recognize Betsy's generous heart, because
Woo, way to go, Betsy girl. Jessica.
I mean, truly, guys, it's something she could have just done and kept to herself, and she's making it available for all leaders so that we can stay on track with new recruits, because those that are recruiting and building a business understand that because this industry is very much baptism by fire, it's easy for a lot of people to get lost in the beginning with all the options and trainings and meetings and everything else. It's all necessary, but there's a way to organize it and streamline it. And Betsy did that. And Betsy, before you continue, This is a bit like an infomercial, but I have to ask, you didn't come up with this, you're all by yourself. You mentioned that you talked to a top player at Symmetry that's doing this. Could you talk about that a little bit? Was this right in your backyard, or did you just call her out of the blue, or did you go to a live event, get in your car and take time out of your day to see what association could bring forth?
Yeah, so the Purdy agency, Scott Forehand and Ruth Slingo, they're part of the Purdy hierarchy. So they were putting on, earlier in the year, they put on a producers workshop. They had a builders workshop in Orlando this past week. And so Scott asked me to come and share about building a niche team for Debt-Free Life.
You live in Orlando, Betsy?
Yeah, it was Orlando. So I drove.
Do you live in Orlando?
Oh, I don't, Mark. I drove, it took me about 8 hours to drive there.
Okay, thank you.
So it was, it took time away from the family. I had to go and get a hotel, pay for the gas, but look at what is coming out of this. I mean, I've been wanting to build, I've been like searching for this process because what I was doing wasn't scalable and sustainable. And I knew I needed something. And so Sarah Reinecke, who's part of the Marshall Whalen hierarchy under Jacob Poe. So Scott Forehand looked at all the agents across Symmetry and found that Sarah Reinecke, 58.4% of the people that she sends contracts to become writers in her organization. So that is the highest engagement level out of all of Symmetry. And so I got to have breakfast with her. We went for coffee, and she is just phenomenal. She knows how to connect with people on just a really deep level. She used to be a teacher, so, we connected really well. But when she got up and spoke, these are just some simple tips. She just said, hey guys, we have an onboarding call, and we tell them in our agency, we become SNAs. In our agency, we get licensed within 10 days. In our agency, we write six applications in the first week or two. Like, this is what we do. And I thought, how extraordinarily simple and straightforward. And I just felt like, well, duh, of course that makes sense. And so I called Mark and I was like, Mark, we have to do this. Please help me, Mark. And because, guys, we're better together. Like, that's just the whole Symmetry way. We're better together. And I don't know about you, but Mark, you said that. That's so gracious to me, but I appreciate you so much for all that you've done for me. And so, I don't want this just for me. I want this for you and our entire agency. So anyways, so, along with that, I've already told the leaders in my organization, all right, Fridays at 1, that's going to be our call. And so, if you have people that you're onboarding and you want to send them to this call, like, we want this to be for the Newbauer and the Bar agency, like, we're working together in this. And so we're going to have a PowerPoint that we go through, or really just going to take them through this website so that leaders, we can all take turns onboarding this call and just building that positive culture from the beginning of we work together and we support each other. So if you, so one of the things we're actually working on here's inside of our CRM where we're building everything, but we're going to have a page here that about the leaders so that, if you hire somebody and, they're coming on, but, me or Mark is leading the group, they can look and see, okay, here's how everybody fits in, but we're going to edify you. If you're leading a session and I'm not on there, or Mark's not on there, you're edifying, we edify each other and we help bring our people along and, go step by step. We've got in here what's called, let me show you here, what's called a pipeline. And so inside of this pipeline, this is how we're going to onboard our people. All right. And so you're going to get notifications if you choose to be a part of this. Hey, they've attended this call. All right. Now they've completed fast track. So we can kind of see where they are every step in the process. So on a new agent, what if it's an unlicensed agent? Okay. Where are they in their process? Pre-licensing, they've scheduled their exam, all this. So we can just kind of keep track of people along the way. I'm doing a bunch of DFL agents. Okay, there's a process to that. And so, all of this is like triggering emails, triggering notifications. So everything is just built out. That's what Jessica and I have been working on this week. And we are fired up. We're going to get this up and running, and we're just going to watch our agencies explode. So we hope you join us. we want you to grow as well. So thank
Guys,
you.
give a hand to Betsy. This is
Mark, back to you.
incredible.
Thank you.
Truly. And would you mind addressing, I certainly don't mind, Betsy. If you wouldn't mind addressing Mormon's question, if you see fit, if the time is right, regarding your program that Level Up has,
Yeah.
to supplement whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all we do this with recruiting. So our marketing agency, we create sites, we do Facebook ads, we integrate everything, we create the follow-up campaigns, we do all of that, and we focus on insurance agents, and we now just have started doing real estate agents as well. So, if we're doing this as a recruiting effort together, we do, pay people to do it with us, so, but I feel like, with recruiting, we could look at kind of coming together and, if we're all inside of that location, we can come to just making sure we've got the cost of labor covered. And then, but for sales, we do that as well, to where we're running Facebook ads and generating, exclusive leads that are then coming to your calendar. And, so it's not, it's not for everyone, but it can be a good fit at times. So it's just a matter of, what are you hoping for with your business? What are you looking towards? You pay the, ad spend to Facebook, and then we have a marketing fee because we're setting everything up and having the support. So yeah, I'll put the website in here.
Yeah, if you guys want to contact Betsy, the fees apply, of course, right? Because Betsy's team Level Up does quite a bit of work in putting everything together, but the ad budget is scalable. So this is an effective means of recruiting. It's an effective means of supplementing your mortgage protection leads with some extra internet leads and all kinds of stuff. And I can't thank Betsy enough again for her generosity. And also, I just love your entrepreneurship. I'm enamored by it. And I think it's incredible that you've got an entirely separate business out here that you're bringing into the fold to help everybody here at Symmetry. I mean, Symmetry Nation, period, let alone the Cook hierarchy, right? And the Newbauer team. So
right.
Awesome, guys. Feel free to reach out to Betsy.
Thank you.
And what was I going to say? Thank you for laying it down like you did regarding Sarah Reinecke, right? What she's accomplishing, guys. I mean, I've been watching her. She's got a few agents local here in Phoenix, so I've kind of watched her from afar and been really impressed with her results. And it's just to show you guys, the reason I asked Betsy those questions, right, is to just further exemplify the power of association here. Betsy did not go to that boot camp to talk to Sarah Reinecke and find out right? She didn't even know. We don't know what we don't know, right? So she went there to expand her horizons because she knows that every live event that she's ever attended, same for me, same for Shelly, right? Same for Devo. Like, we've been to a ton of live events, right? And there's not one of us that would ever say we didn't receive exponential benefit. Whether we had to get a plane ticket, or as Steve and I did for our first national conference, piled like 7 guys into a white van and no windows and drove 12 hours to North Carolina from Indiana and flipped coins to see who had to sleep on the floor in the same hotel room. That's where we were, guys, financially 6 years ago. But we did it. We made it happen because we knew it was important. We trusted our mentor. He said, we need to get there. And we said, well, I don't know why, but he said we need to, so we're going to. And it changed our lives indefinitely. So I want the same for you guys. I want you to know that, that 12-hour car ride and sleeping on the floor in the motel, it wasn't a hotel, in the motel, and then figuring out how to get to conference each morning, hoping the buffet breakfast, the Continental was still full. All that stuff, guys, it was exponentially valuable to us. And so regardless of your situation, please get registered for conference, go to these live events, look on the website. I'm not going to go over them all, but we've got Dallas, Texas coming up in 2 weeks. We've got Orlando, Florida coming up at the top of June 1st, literally the top. And we've got Indianapolis, Indiana on June 22nd, and a couple more in between. What, Betsy, Shelley, when's the Knoxville one? We got another Knoxville one coming up.
The 19th.
19th of May, guys. That's right around the corner. Knoxville, Tennessee. So you heard it. Betsy drove 8 hours to Orlando to see what she could learn a little more about recruiting, ended up associating with the most effective recruiter in all of Symmetry, right? There are people that recruit more, right? But we're talking about the most effective recruiter, right? Someone who can recruit and make sure that their people go from taking their test and getting their license to writing an application. Because if you haven't recruited yet, that gap is like the Grand Canyon, guys. It really is. And we're here to close that gap as much as we can. And Betsy's innovation here, the time that she's taken, the generosity and the technology behind everything she's putting together is going to bridge that gap significantly. So I don't know, guys. Like Chris said, it's like, or no, Danny Young says it. Chris quotes it a lot. If you're at Symmetry and you're not making money, it's like starving in a grocery store, right? Right, Laura? I mean, Shelley's handing out prescription cards to construction workers she's never met. They're going to use them and they're going to save a lot of money. And Shelley's going to get, what is it, $1.60 for every time somebody uses that card. So imagine you hand 100 of those out, guys, over time, right? And imagine that, you know, those people share your code and so on throughout. There are just so many passive income opportunities at Symmetry. It's ridiculous. And what I'm doing on the advanced market side, what Shelley's doing, or what Betsy's doing on the recruiting and streamlining, you know, that activity from onboarding to application writing is top tier. And I want you guys to please embrace that. And let's run like never before, because this, though everything's there, it's just there. You've got to pick up the shovel and do the digging, right? I'm not going to do that because I have my own digging to do, right? Betsy has her own digging to do. So, but we've all got the shovels. They're right there, and there's gold underneath the ground. But you got to do the digging, and you're going to get tired. Your muscles are going to hurt. You're going to sweat. You might get dehydrated. You may even have a heat stroke. But I promise you, the gold's under there. If you pick up the shovel and do the work, it's going to be worth it. Okay. Is the website active? Is that a Betsy question?
Yeah, we're finishing it up after this call. So Mark, when it's active, I will send you the link to it, and then let's use it.
Guys, this was an exciting call. I mean, I hope everybody felt just how exciting this is, everything that we got going on. Gonna wrap it up, but I do want to say, especially Randy Johnson, Morgan Isadora, George Britton, and Anna Robinson, and Charlene Pham. Wow, we got a lot of newbies. I love it. And anyone else that wants to, Byron Pruitt, definitely come to the call tomorrow. Betsy has the link right there. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Is that the link for 10 a.m. tomorrow? I'm sorry, 1 p.m. Eastern?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I didn't want to distract you, Betsy. I'm going to press enter now. I was going to send you a text. If you'll send me a calendar invite with ability to invite, then, you know, Byron, Charlene, Morgan, George, Anna, Randy, I'll get those out to you guys. If anybody's got recruits that say came on in the last 3 weeks or so, get them on this meeting tomorrow, and Betsy and I will get everybody started the right way. So pretty pumped for that. All right, let's thank you, Byron. You'll be there. Charlene, you'll be there. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
God, I love the diligence. So anybody, questions, comments, suggestions before you go register for conference after the call?
Estimated time of the new superhero startup?
What do you say, Betsy? Like 20, 30 minutes, average length of these onboarding calls?
I would say, yeah, because we're going to try and like break people into groups based on kind of where they are. Are they fresh and new? Do they need to get stuff into op? Do they need to do this? So, I mean, yeah, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe. But we want it to be like, you know, quick, focus, but get people what they need to be successful.
Yeah, we'll do our best to keep them under 30 minutes, but if it goes over, it'll only because we have that much more to share with the new people.
Great.
I have a question, guys, real quick. So Betsy, are we able to bring our new agents as well? Because we have 3 right now that could benefit from this call.
Laura, bring them.
Okay.
Because it's you, that's all we can say, because it's you.
You're honorary. You're
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I want to tell you, thank you so much, Betsy. This is incredible. Like this is something that should have been done years and years and years ago. Sarah Reinecke, I've watched her journey here. We used to do Miracle Morning together, and she is such a great connector, you know, and they have a system coming straight directly from Jacob Hogue, who is the #1 recruiter in all of Symmetry. And I mean, that's powerful stuff. So I'm so glad that, you know, you associated with the right people and you were able to, you know, get this system for Mark's team and our team as well. And it's just incredible what you're doing. So I really appreciate it.
Well, my pleasure.
Me too. And guys, speaking of what Laura just said, you know, if you're reading the book of the month, right there in the first chapter, it lays out that, you know, you should be bringing a 5-to-1 ratio to your compensation, right? So I don't say that to shame anybody who's not yet, right? But what I'm saying it because they say that for your own good. That's how you can measure whether or not you're building a successful business, right? How much ROI are you bringing to the table? And yeah, you're in my agency, or you're in Betsy's agency, or you're in Eric's agency, or Steve's, or whoever's, right? Gene's agency. But ultimately, we are a collective. That's why I'm more than happy to freely share these IUL presentations, make them known to everyone in the wild there. Betsy's more than happy to share this throughout our hierarchy, and even more so with Level Up for all of Symmetry Nation, because it's going to benefit the collective, guys. And the more that we work together, right, you've heard this saying, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So don't be that weak link. If you feel like you're that weak link, but you don't want to be, talk to your direct, right? Hit me up, talk to Betsy. Let us know what we can do to make your journey a little better, or at least put you back on track in the right direction. And if you're not sure, you don't want to be, maybe this isn't the right fit right now. Maybe it isn't the right time. That's okay too. But anybody that, you know, that is in the team, on the team, and really wanting to generate that ROI, let's be as proactive as possible. Let's get registered for conference so that we can show the example. And guys, I know at first it might seem a little cheerleader if you're brand new, like Randy. I don't know if you're getting sick of me. Every time Randy does something, I go, hey, shout that out on band, or make sure you put that on band. I do that because I cannot tell you that's going to inspire at least one person, right? When we started GroupMe, it used to be GroupMe before band. Before it was the analog version. It was Steve Devine, Mark Newbauer, and Paul Ensley, who has gone on to greener pastures in his political life. But there were just 3 of us in Indiana. We didn't have band or GroupMe. And if I had a flat tire in the snow after getting a no-show down in 3 hours from my home, I would get a text from Paulie or Steve saying, hey, I just helped out this nice family, made $700. Do you know what that did for my night? Do you know how that inspired me and made me feel okay with having a flat tire in the snow? Because it reminded me that this works. It reminded me what I needed to be doing. And it reminded me that no's are just part of the business. And you need to put in enough activity and do enough of the right things in order to make it work. That was just 3 of us, guys, and that was empowering. Then we updated it and we got GroupMe and band, right? So I can't tell you, and sometimes even as leaders, not sometimes, all the time, if you see another leader achieving something, I mean, did you see that Val Zarn hired over 50 people last month? Do you know what that did for me as a leader in terms of wanting to step up my game and being more proactive in stepping up my game, right? Do you know what just seeing that leads to in the back of my head, and what journey that takes me on anew? Because somebody cared enough not to boast, not to brag, not to rah-rah, but to simply say, hey, I'm doing enough of the right things, and here's the result. And that's going to cultivate more and more and more of that. So last but not least, guys, please, you're plugging in. That's awesome. Be a part of the bigger collective and really celebrate your successes on band. Okay, shout it out. If you registered for conference, and all of you who are not, that go and do that after this meeting, shout it out on band, right? That's going to inspire new agents that maybe are sitting around thinking, well, other new people aren't doing it, so neither am I. Well, yes, they are. They just didn't post it. But yes, they are, and they did post it, means that now they're going to too, right? There is a little bit of herd mentality there, but most of all, it's inspiration. It's that constant reminder that we need. This business is easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. And what bridges the gap there? Association with the right people doing the right things. And that's what these things are for. So I thank you, Betsy. I'm sure everybody has to go. I'll just drone on and on. Mohammed is coming on. I think he probably still thinks these are 11:30. Apologies if you didn't get the memo. I will wait till his sound kicks on so we don't just have him waiting in here. But if anybody needs to sign off, go for it. Hope you take all that to heart, guys. Anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions?
I have something, but it's not really about what we're talking about right here, but in the Quality U, when I got to a certain point, and since I don't have anybody underneath me yet, I can't go any further
Right.
in the Quality U.
In
So I
Summit.
have to,
In Summit.
in Summit, yeah. So I can't go any further right now. So I'm kind of at a standstill until I get somebody.
That's
I mean-
okay. That's your challenge. That's your next challenge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember that system, that Summit training system, everybody. Thank you for saying that, Shelley. First of all, that's vulnerability, right, guys? And vulnerability is power. The reason that Summit is designed around what they have studied. I mean, spent millions of dollars studying data as to what it takes to become a long-standing, successful agent here, right? And so all of those steps are very methodically laid out. And if that's the step you're on, unless you just decide, hey, I'm a producer, that's all I ever want to be, great. Get those leads, dial, and help those families, right? But for most of us, we came to Symmetry for the bigger picture, right? You can go to 100 different shops that sell insurance, right? And make good money. But the bigger picture here is to grow into leadership and grow into passive streams of income and not have to be in the field in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, right? Depending on your level of activity. So Summit is designed around that to make sure that you're on track, that you're doing the right things. Shelley, I applaud you. Shelley just made a commitment to step up in her recruiting objectives. She's going to be putting out ads on LinkedIn and interviewing more than she ever has before. I'm doing the same. Thanks to Level Up, I'll actually be working with Betsy's company. And as I understand the Max Day program through Symmetry, if you're not on those builders call, guys, that thing is incredible. How did Val Zarn hire 50 plus people last month? The Max Day program, right? Through Quality, which is talked about on the builders call every week. So again, the gold's underground, the shovel's in front of you. We just have to do the work, okay? And follow those simple instructions. Not easy, it can be emotionally taxing, but it is simple. So thank you guys. Mohammed Ba, you get the prize of the day, the door prize. I apologize, Mohammed, if you didn't get the email. I probably only sent it once. We have moved these calls to 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific, selfishly, so I can do a yoga class at noon, but everybody seemed to agree it was okay. So 10:30 Pacific, 1:30 Eastern are these calls, and that's it. So I love you, Mohammed. It was good seeing you for a few seconds. Call me if you need anything. You have anything to say?
Starting when? Next week?
Well, starting this week, but yeah, from here on out, 10:30 Pacific, 1:30 Eastern are going to be the Thursday meetings. And I'm sorry if you didn't get that. I only sent one email, so that maybe why you.
No, I think I did. You mentioned that was it last week, and I forgot today. I was just had my mind on the 2:30. So as a matter of fact, I just came from prospecting. I'm heading back now, and I was like, oh man, it's 2:30 already. Let me jump in.
Well, good man, and congrats on prospecting. Well, so real quick, we covered registering for conference, you and yours. The Thursday night presentation we're going to do. I know you know all about that, so you and Alice can start inviting people to that and have them fill out the RSVP link. And thirdly, Betsy, as you know, Mohammed, has unveiled an onboarding platform for new people so we can keep them on track and bridge the gap between onboarding and writing their first app. That's the summary. I will send you a recording of this meeting. It is recorded. So I'll send that out to you and you can watch it at midnight tonight if you want.
Okay.
Thank you guys. I'm going to stop recording now.